The modern world has told you that violence is wrong and that showing any level of aggression makes you evil. Mainstream media really wants you to notice how evil violence and aggressiveness are, how damaging it is to society and to people. And when mainstream media tries so hard to say something, it's usually because they want you distracted. Just look around you for a second. Look at all the extremely powerful and successful people, and listen to their stories. They had to be ruthless, aggressive, and definitely more violent than the average Joe. The truth is that you should be violent, because I am violent, you are violent, and the average Joe is somewhat violent. It's in a man's nature to get his hands dirty when needed. In caveman times, when shit would get bad, when some wild animal attacked the tribe, the man would have to protect and kill. Or just think about the act of hunting. The most natural thing that exists involves an insane amount of violence. And we are hunters. We are hunters and gatherers. Our main source of living requires violence. Just think about the fact that our existence always relied on extreme violence. But blue-haired people will now comment with, but we're not in caveman times anymore. Duh, but you can't just rewrite millions of years of evolution. Coglione di merda. You know what's the funny thing? You already know these things. You already know we are naturally related to violence, that we are somewhat attracted to it. Just think of this for a second. What are the most loved and famous movie and TV characters? Badass heroes and badass anti-heroes. What are the most loved scenes in the movie's history? Bloodbaths, where a ton of people die and a lot of bad shit usually happens. What's the most famous topic that video games and movies cover? War. And something is missing. What's that music genre that's very fucking popular? That always talks about killings and stuff like that? Oh yeah, rap music. We like violence. We crave violence. We need some degree of violence in our lives. Cause in the real world, when I win, you lose. If the cavemen wanted to eat, they would have to kill a living animal. If they wanted to be successful, somebody else would have to lose. It's a constant competition for the top. And I'm going to tell you another thing that you probably already know deep down in your heart. Every single person who found his way to success had to do ruthless stuff. They had to do some wrong, rude, toxic stuff to find their way. If you don't believe so, write in the comments an extremely successful person and I'll prove you wrong. Think about this scene. There's this crowded sidewalk and this person is going to some place fast. But by doing that, he's bumping a few people away. He's doing something that's rude, violent, wrong, blah. But at the end of the day, who cares? He has to do it if he wants to get somewhere, if he doesn't want to get stuck in the crowd. He didn't kill anyone, it wasn't necessary, and he didn't throw people on the road. He just bumped them away because they were stopping him from going where he had to go. Do you think it's important? Do you think it will matter at the end of the day? That he got mad because you were rude and uneducated? You'll have to push away the people that are stopping you. Hopefully you won't have to kill anyone or badly hurt anyone, but you'll need to make some people feel bad. They have taught you that every single non-consensual physical contact is absolutely the worst thing you could possibly do. You can't touch a woman if she first doesn't sign a fucking contract. You can't wrestle with your male friends because it's dangerous and some could get hurt, and you cannot even think about punching someone. They have told you this since your birth because they know that by removing physical contact, they are removing one of the most natural means of communication that a human being has ever had. And if they remove that, then we are more isolated. It's easier to control us, because in normal situations, during an argument between friends for example, the risk of killing someone if you get violent is minimal. Because as a human, you aren't meant to kill members of your tribe. That's unproductive. The reason your violent side has been suppressed so much for all your life, it's because the people who embrace their violence and aggression become extremely successful and powerful. Because they were able to channel that power to achieve great things. And they don't want you to be like that. They want you to stay passive and docile so you can't interfere with their plans. And you can be a good consumer. You have to embrace the violent side inside you. Start practicing something like boxing or some martial art. You have to make your violent side strong and you have to learn how to have full control over it. I have hit many people, considering my short existence. And I've understood something weird. Words usually create the same resentment than violence does. The people I've soft punched never cared about that. When you get punched, you'll get instinctively mad at first, but then it will completely disappear because who the fuck cares? It doesn't even hurt after a few minutes. You've just learned a lesson. And if this is toxic, think about the fact that avoiding violence doesn't help. We all have an aggressive side inside of us, and trying to repress it doesn't make you a good individual. As Jordan Peterson said, a harmless man is not a good man. Trying to repress your violence doesn't make you good. Weak people are the ones who do the shootings, rape, and etc. The violent side is always inside you waiting. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit there hoping that you will never wake up and that you will never do something bad? Or are you going to develop it? Make it stronger, learn how to control it, how to use it to your advantage, how to use it to make some actual good in society.